Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
And now, Tim Dillon is going to hell with Tim Dillon and Ray Kump.
Hello.
Welcome to Tim Dillon's Going to Hell, everybody. It's Gas Digital Election Headquarters. Special election correspondent, very special guest today. Ray Kump is with us.
I voted. I'm a big fan of civic duty.
He voted, and then they said, "Sir, step away from Mrs. Ocasio-Cortez."
I was just trying to tell her what I thought she had a great platform.
Listen to me. Human capital, listen, come here.
Look,
Miss, I love you.
I have a very physical way of talking to people.
I love you, Miss Ocasio-Cortez.
Did
folks,
she win? Did we get the numbers
Who's
yet?
running against her? Who's even running? Is there any it's Astoria, so it's probably, I think it's a Greek. It's probably some Greek named who was the guy that Castamatidis? Who is running against Cortez? Bob, if you can find that. There's some guy. I think it's a guy named Pappas. Stephen Angelo was talking about it. He said it's some
diner owner.
There's certain seats where Republicans don't even run in New York because it doesn't even make sense.
Half the things I put on, I just voted Democrat. What are they gonna do?
You're just checking the power structure.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just not that I don't trust Trump with all the power. I think he's doing great, but. Half of them, there's no option. And then there's a part with judges where it's like...
Who knows?
It's like vote for any 7. There's like 7 slots. But like it's all the same names, no matter what party it is.
I know everybody's like big on voting, and that's fine. But let me tell you right now, voting is such a mess because it doesn't work. Like, voting in and of itself, I understand that it's good and do it, and I'm not saying not to do it, but like... No, like when you look at these ballots and it's like these initiatives that no one's heard about until the minute you're in there.
I voted yes on a proposition.
It's like
to have a fact finding thing. I think and to allow citizens to have a fact finding into their apartment house, like the project buildings.
Good.
I don't know.
Those matter, but like nobody knows what they are. You get in there.
Here's the thing. As much as anyone. Yeah. There's 2 parties. That's the problem. There's just 2 fucking parties, and no one's actually voting, and we're putting this bifurcated system and all this, which is true. But the reality is, if I couldn't just vote down the line, who the fuck am I voting for comptroller? What the fuck do I know about a comptroller and what he does, and whether or not this motherfucker's qualified?
Well, it's no longer about we've detached from what a lot of this actually means and how it impacts your day-to-day life. A lot of it is ceremonial, and like people are saying now, they're like, if you're in a blue state or a solidly blue state or a solidly red state, it doesn't matter. You should vote anyway because margins matter. The margin of somebody's victory.
The mandate.
But these fucks don't give a shit. They win by a point. And they're going to go do what they want to do.
Look,
the mandate, like...
I mean, there might be...
Trump lost the popular vote. It's a fucking mandate. No one,
There could be some argument, I guess, that, long term, let's just say there was more activity amongst the youth now. And so we can't take it for granted in the future.
Well, first of all, you come in here with a sticker, which I find disgusting because I think these stickers are disgusting.
I am mocking the whole premise of this.
Okay. I didn't know.
I put this on 2 seconds before we started.
And we've had this conversation before.
It's fucking virtue signaling about what's supposed to be a civic duty.
It's the infantilization of people.
Right.
Like, this is what, when we were 6, we got a sticker for doing the right thing. Now we need it again. And it's absurd. It's like sick, but you can't, like, you say that, everyone gets mad at you. Everyone's angry at you because...
No, raises awareness, dude. Reminds people to vote.
What I've really learned over the last year, people are very heavily invested in being losers.
Yeah.
And if you tell them not to be a loser, or if you suggest trying to be less of a loser, like 2 days a week, they go insane. Like, I've never gotten more hate in my life than when I tweeted the joke, if you don't want to offend somebody with a Halloween costume, don't dress up, give the holiday back to kids, buy a family, start a family, buy a house.
Right.
I tweeted it as a joke with some truth in it.
Sure.
And people went crazy.
Really?
Because telling anyone to not be suggesting to them that they take a second away from their fully realizing every moment of their life and making it, the gnashing of the teeth is hard to describe.
Well, this is why, and there's so many things like that this permeate. First of all, it's childhood. No one gives a shit about your childhood. Why do you give a fuck? How good was your fucking childhood that you want to relive it? Half of us got molested, and the other half were kind of not, couldn't get the My Buddy toys they wanted when they were 5 years old. So it wasn't that great. You didn't live in a Stephen King novel, the first half of it where everything's idyllic, all right? You didn't grow up in fucking... What's the town that he always has?
I love that your example of something good is a Stephen King novel.
You didn't live in The Exorcist or something good. You didn't live in a town where people cared about each other.
No, it's just like this whole this Star Wars shit. Like, yeah, it is a bad movie, the new one. Maybe because I'm in the bubble, but on YouTube, everyone keeps still talking about how bad the last Star Wars movie is and how Disney ruined them and the women. And it's not because they're women; it's because it's badly written. And why are you pumping this 30-year-old movie?
Yeah,
it's not even like a fun thing where it's like, hey, we're just gonna keep making Bond movies.
Well, we're in the death throes. I hate to tell anyone who's a fan of anything, but it's kind of over. I was just talking about. Stand-up comedy doesn't have a ton of culturally relevant shit to say about the moment that we're in. It just kind of doesn't. Memes, for example, are like funnier than comedy. They're shared a hell of a lot more, a lot easier. It's like things evolve, and what the role technology has played is just kind of like displacing some of the other, mediums. And you look at, a lot of the. And I have no issue with people who are progressive, but you do have to look back. You have to divorce yourself from me being a participant in the entertainment business and like leaving and just looking at everything and going, well, there's all of these shows that say the exact same thing in pretty much the exact same way. Why? Why do I need all of these? What would be the point of having the same thing shoved down my throat 9 times in the same way? It's kind of so there's no subversive comedy. Even the far left is ignored. You have a very mainstream, safe, mainstream, SNL and all these things. So you're kind of like, what the hell's the point?
Part of I'm not gonna blame it all on PC comedy, but part of the rise of the alt-right and things like $1 Million Extreme and whatnot, is that there's always going to be a hunger from a certain percentage of the population for whatever is considered subversive comedy or subversive entertainment. I think it's just probably a psychological thing. Just like really half the people are wired fundamentally to be either like more compassionate and be a Democrat, more whatever, be a Republican. It's just part of your psychological programming built in.
But a lot of people want comedy to be dark and edgy and subversive, and that's why shows like $1 Million Extreme, which were very, very funny, found a fan base. And okay, is the fan base neo-Nazis? Sure. But
there's a problem. Some of them are sincere. Sure, so
but it says something that's the one show that got through because that there are other shows that should be getting through. There are other people, there are other voices, but this business speaks with one voice, and it's the mainstream, corporate Democratic voice of and it's just boring. And it's boring.
If you leave it to be the refuge of actual Nazis, then that's like I'm not saying that it's like an equitable exchange. Like, well, I need my subversive comedy, so I'll go to the Nazi. No one's thinking that way. But I'm saying it's just the same thing with conspiracies. It's like there are actual legitimate conspiracies, for lack of a better term, out there. And if you leave them to be the refuge of Alex Jones, and the people who question things are going to flock to that guy.
Well, you have all of the people, all of the executives at these major companies, for the most part, are all Democrats. And a lot of the times they choose talent that is ideologically People want to work with people they agree with. It's kind of human nature. And Hollywood, for long, there's a reason that mostly liberal people go into the entertainment business. I understand that. It's an irrational pursuit. You have to be somewhat delusional. You have to be willing to, take a big chance. And conservatives, by their nature, a lot of times don't do that. And liberals tend to be more compassionate. And sometimes those people are just more suited to the arts, temperamentally. They're just better at doing these things. They really are. It's, the state of conservative satire is not doing well. If you watch Owen Benjamin and Steven Crowder dressed up as, they've done, you're like, well, this isn't good. This is good. But
anyone who advocates for free speech is a Nazi. I'm not saying, not logically. There is a logical case to be made. Yeah. But the reality is, no one.
And also somebody who's just gratuitously saying the N-word. None of these things are what we want. The problem is when you have the polarization of things the way they are.
Right.
It's just, it's over. Like, I don't know what, the internet has become a refuge for people that want to be subversive, but that also, the problem with letting that happen is now you don't have any check on that.
Part of the problem is you have this kind of threshold now. It's like where, like, if you're just a guy who, I just want to do a comedy career, like, you're not going to go against the whole free speech thing.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people believe in free speech, but, like, what happens if you come out? It's not worth it unless your ideas are so out there anyway that, well, you give a fuck if, like, everyone hates you. So that's why the only people end up advocating for it are the people on the extremes. Yeah. Same thing with comedy. It's just, like, the only people who are, like, it's people who are really not going to have a career anyway unless they're getting attention. And, it's a certain kind of career, but, it works for them, I guess.
I just watch, and I used to really love stand-up, and I don't know that I was ever as much of a lover of it as other people, but I just watch it now, and I'm just kind of like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of a lot? Like, to be honest, podcasting has surpassed comedy.
Right.
More people are going to see podcasts. The big podcasts are selling out theaters. YouTube stars are living in mansions in LA because they have a huge following of people. And I the charm of stand-up is that it's live, but there's something about the sameness of everyone's take. It's boring. It's fucking.
I don't think it was ever supposed to be.
Bring back Cosby. This is what I'm saying.
Me and my brother used to shove his pills down her throat.
I don't know what to say, but
I don't think it was ever supposed to be the thing, like the big fucking thing. Like, we're all just consuming way too much stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And there's too many people doing it. Like, it was always a thing, like, you probably had it on Carson, once a week?
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, it's one, but, like, people who,
it was a lounge act for people that went to lounges, like the people that would drink booze and smoke and fucking, it existed.
Where you from, Poughkeepsie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of whores there, don't they? I'll be here.
It was a fuck, and it was pushing back against the religiosity and the moralism of society. Now it's flipped to where comedians are telling people what to do and how to and it's like they are now the moral majority. It's like, this is,
let me in your bathroom.
It's like you have comedians walking around telling people, make sure you vote. Get the fuck out of my face. Make sure you vote, you attention-seeking whore. Go away. Like, make sure that I vote. Like, there's something so.
You imagine if Carlin tried that, like, I don't vote bit now?
He'd be a Nazi. And there's something so dispiriting about a group of people who are just craven narcissists trying to co-opt social justice for their own career.
Here's a problem with them. They have no sense of, it's never the people who actually have, like, stakes in the battle usually.
No.
It's not like the civil rights movement, which was organized and, like, knew how to get progress and, like, was like, patient and, like, was mature. Like, these people are all, like, no one's taking any nuance or no one's expecting to win. That's why when you question, is this the best tactic? Shut up, because it's all about just being in the moment. Virtue.
And it's also about living online, and nobody cares about a real life. And if you suggest that people should get off, like, unplugged, they go nuts.
Right.
We've chosen machines. Yeah. We're done. Like, go tell somebody, I told somebody to go swim the other day. I was like, you got to find a lake and go swimming. They acted like I told them to killed himself. I'm like,
this is a young boy you had tied up.
Yes, but but that's neither here nor there. They're just too into. No, but I mean that's the thing, man. Like how devout people are now is like it's uncomfortable to me because I'm like, well, if everyone knows everything, then what the fuck is the point of comedy or art or writing? If we all know everything and we only exist, if we only exist to transmit these truths to people, that's what it is. It's like, oh, let's see what this fucking supporting player on a 90s sitcom has figured out about trade today. What world is this?
So tariffs, they go back to the ancient China.
Nobody wants to learn anything. Everybody just simply wants to transmit the truth that they somehow have woken up. Now none of these fuckers paid attention to anything pre-18 months ago. But in the last 18 months, they've fed a steady diet of Twitter, and they've become experts in all of these issues.
We say it every few months, but I mean, look, it's bad, kids in cages and all this shit.
Bad. We're not saying it's good.
Bush gave us a fucking a 10-year war.
Yeah.
A war based on nothing.
When Joe Biden gets elected, or whatever the Democrat is, and they go right back to pillaging the Middle East, listening to your phone, tapping your phone, reading your emails, when they go right back to, is anyone...
Uncle Joe wouldn't do that.
Is anyone going to care? Is anybody going to care?
Look, I mean, again, you're making false equivalencies. No, but like, the idea that you didn't even want to put a check on anything until fucking... and
listen, go vote him out. Vote. I hope the Democrats get the House and throw Trump the fuck out. Listen, my whole point is this. To me, we're living in a country right now where nobody seems to want to learn, and that seems to be everybody possesses all the knowledge one could ever want. Nobody needs to learn, and it's like, then what the hell are we all doing?
Well, they want to learn how to make like a baked risotto from fucking Blue Apron. They want to learn how to like fucking make a basket on YouTube or masterclass.
Yeah.
But
nobody wants to do a deep dive into like what we're all doing here.
Right.
Nobody wants to. Bobby, where are we right now? The results. This is the election special at Gas Digital Network. Ray Kump is here. He's our special election.
I'm our correspondent.
He's a special correspondent.
I was harassing old people all day outside of the deli.
Listen, you better vote. Get in my van. Ladies, I'm giving rides to the polls. You want to see my poll? Get in the car. Get in my van.
I'm a Bob Barman.
Listen to me. I've been hired by the campaign of Andrew Gillum to drive you to Florida.
What are we looking at, Bobby?
So right now, 67 seats have been decided. 42 seats went to the Republican Party, and 24 seats have gone to the Democratic Party.
But polls,
that's 512, right?
Right. It's a very small group.
Yeah. No, this is useless.
This is a very small group. But I will say this. It'll probably be closer than people think. Maybe
I suspect. Not. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if the whole thing about polls not working, do they fix that in the past 2 years?
Dude, nothing's fixed. There's still long lines. Nobody cares. And this is a lot
like the poll, like the predictive nature of polls.
They never will because they ask these dumb questions. They're like, does extremist violence, is that a big issue for you? I saw CNN ask that. And it's like, you didn't define what extremist violence is.
Right.
Nobody even know. Like, do you mean the synagogue shooting? Do you mean... What do you mean? Like, does that could mean terrorism? Like,
my neighbor, dog took a shit in my lawn.
Right.
And he was black.
Yeah.
Extremist violence is not an issue for me. I think it's fun.
But...
Is that me?
Listen.
But at the end of the day, it's like, it's going to be closer. It's always closer. The least interesting people in the world have voting stickers on their faces, by the way. And good. I'm glad they all voted. But these are people who, if you had to have a conversation with them, if you were forced to have a conversation with these people, you would try to kill yourself. This is what I'm telling you.
It'll be fun. Ask them, who'd you vote for comptroller?
Yeah.
They all know.
What are your feelings on the comptroller race? Yeah. What do you think about that? You're so excited about voting.
If we were like a real show, we would go out and put people out there like Jay Leno in the street with a microphone.
Yeah. My thing is, don't vote. Run. Run. Run for something. You want to impress me? Fuck your voting. Run. Run.
That's because you're attracted to young Republicans.
No, I want to see people of all ages and all persuasions run for something. Stop voting. Take action. Am I wrong?
I think so. I think.
Yeah, perhaps.
I think we have. Look, at work, we've been producing this incredibly good show. It's terrible. Of like 18-year-olds. It's all 18-year-olds talking to like other 18-year-olds, and the panel is always like led by these two.
It's not those Parkland kids, is it?
Amazing. Oh, I'm thinking of the Columbine kids. Sorry.
Are they still alive? No, they killed each other.
That's why it'd be fun.
If you reanimated them,
yeah, you like just like,
Harrison Klebold's
they brought
elections.
back Tupac. They could bring back Dylan Klebold.
The hologram tour of Harrison Klebold touring. What a great show!
God.
Holograms of school shooters who've died.
You could like actually build a theme park of school shootings.
Absolutely.
Like you mock up the classrooms.
Yeah.
And you have like these holograms. And like you're going through it like an animatronic class, like the ride is like the seats of the classroom.
Yeah, it's like a ride at Universal called School Shooting. It's like, can you get out in time? Do it like Escape the Room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you know how you have Escape the Room.
Shit, yeah,
Escape the Room with hologram school shooters.
Oh, it's just fun
in a biology classroom. Can you do it? And then if you're like a popular kid, you're gonna start with a handicap. And if you're a nerd that they're not going to shoot anyway, you get closer to the door.
Can we get David Hogg in on this? Like pitch it. Like, raise awareness.
I love the idea of doing a school shooter theme park ride at Universal. I spent some time with the CEO of NBC. Maybe I could pass over an email. Let's get an email together.
Let's make a pitch.
Let's get a pitch together.
Yeah, I'm doing
This is not a bad idea.
I like it.
This is not a bad idea.
It's of the times.
Who would this not be for? Because number one, it prepares for the kids in the real school shooting.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, people are not going to take it seriously. People are going to have fun.
Right. They're gonna draw dicks on the fucking the seats.
Yeah.
And
but this is a fun way to relive some very heinous tragedies.
Would you use like actual audio from like 911 calls?
Oh yeah, we'd really try to do the right thing here in terms of creating the real.
Now, what's our stance on Sandy Hook? Is Sandy Hook included, or is that just part? Is that,
well,
hoax?
The Sandy Hook part of the theme park is just an empty room with a guy smoking a cigar, and you're like, "Wait a minute, this one's supposed to simulate Sandy Hook," and the guy goes, "Sit down. Have you heard of QAnon? I am QAnon." Who's this show for, folks? Great question. We don't know. Please subscribe.
There's some of you out there, and you seem to like it. Not sure why. I feel like what we think is going on.
Our fans are either communists, fascists, or nihilists.
Yeah.
There's no, and every now and then a smattering of humans.
Right. I don't even think. I think they respect the fact that we have our own ideas, but they don't agree with us. They're much more.
Nor
extreme.
should they. It's an entertainment program.
No. But my point is, they're much more extreme. I think. I suspect our fans.
Yeah, some of them.
Whatever part of the spectrum they're on.
They brutally attack me sometimes on Instagram and stuff. They're angry with me for things, and they'll message me like, "Dude, fucking," and I'm like, "You guys are crazy."
What do they like? Do they send you like death threats?
One guy said, and I'll fucking read it. This guy who's like, and I refuse to block him just because it's like I enjoy this. I don't care.
Free discourse.
I mean. I really just block people who insult other people on my page. I'll block them.
That's not great.
Yeah, because
I posted a picture of my girlfriend and me, and people start writing "cunt."
Yeah, it's right.
It's just terrible.
Enjoy your pampered audience at that shit club. I actually hope you find some modicum of success and acceptance in the comedy community. By the way, I propose nothing.
Is your manager?
Yeah. I hope you find some modicum of success and acceptance in the comedy community just so you can die on the toilet after eating a seafood platter for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You pompous, bludgeoning Long Island douche. And I wrote, "Thank you." And he goes, "No, thank you. Cynical loudmouths like yourself motivate me to do better. You should have kept selling subprime mortgages." And I respond, "I agree." Again.
Is John Mulaney?
Yeah. He goes, "You'll love Albany, though. There's an Arby's walking distance from the club." I go, "Good, I have a gift certificate." And he goes, "Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what are your insecurities? I'm running out of things to say." They're just lonely.
Yeah.
They really are just lonely.
This
is kind of what it is.
What's like, the idea of interacting with someone who's giving you entertainment. And like, look,
you could also just stop that sentence at someone.
Right.
The idea of interacting with someone.
But we just saw, one of our co-hosts, or what do you call it, associate shows on our network, the wonderful Lisa Ann.
Oh, Lisa Ann. As soon as we walked in, Ray's like, "Is that Lisa Ann? Listen to me. I just jerk off to Lisa Ann."
Why didn't
he's like,
say
"Get her
that?
in here. Let's have her come in here." And I'm like, It's not a great idea.
No, I jokingly said that. And they said, what we're going to do? Tell her I jerked off? Like, you don't need to interact with everyone.
It's a workplace, even though I use that term loosely. We don't need you ogling Lisa Ann.
My point is you don't need to interact with everyone who gives you, like, entertainment.
I feel that's something a cop said to you. My point is, sir, you don't need to interact with everyone.
That's perfect. I think that's a good idea. Listen to me, that makes a lot of sense. So if I see somebody on the internet or on the TV, I don't have to go see them in real life. It's their house.
Correct.
All right.
I'm just a well-meaning sociopath.
I mean, I wish we had more results here, but I'm going to go to Drudge Report and see what they're saying.
Why don't we extend the episode?
I have a couple of more results. The results I told you before were for the Senate, for the House.
Oh, that's for the Senate?
Yeah, Bobby.
Sorry about that.
Changes everything, Bobby.
For the House, only 12 of the 434 seats have been decided, and 9 have gone to Republican Party, and 3 have gone to the Democratic.
Well, that settles it.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is not, folks. Yeah, we're not really.
Still early.
It's still early, and we're going to go to Drudge. We're going to look and see if there's any exit polling.
That's always proven very.
Exit polls show
accurate.
Dem wave building. I mean, it would be crazy if they didn't win.
I mean, yeah. Look, here's the thing. It's kind of like it would be, but
56% of exits say people say country's on wrong track. 55% disapprove of Trump's performance. Nearly 2/3 said presidential was a reason for their vote. Healthcare is top issue. That is not good for Republicans.
No.
That is very bad. Clinton campaign manager cautions against exit polls.
Clinton who was the Clinton? I forget. Who was her?
Robbie Mook.
Yeah. Was Terry McAuliffe?
No, it was Robbie. Well, I think it was Robbie.
His name was Robbie Mook?
Yeah, Robbie Mook. He's the guy who just said this.
Oh, my God.
Robbie Mook, real Mook.
Blue Chew. You heard about this Blue Chew?
I have not.
It offers men, Tim, listen to me. You know about hard cocks. It offers men a performance enhancement for the bedroom. Wouldn't you like to last longer with your dick and go extra rounds?
Absolutely. And listen, I'm a big fan of chewables. This is a chewable. It's like Viagra and Cialis, but it works quicker.
It's like a Flintstone vitamin.
Yeah, it hits the bloodstream immediately. Boom, done. Ships directly to your door in discreet packaging, so your mother is not like, what's wrong with your dick pills?
But here's the thing. It's not some fucking guy in South Korea. It's a doctor. I mean, he might be in South Korea, but he's a doctor.
Right.
It's prescribing it to you. And it's made in the USA.
There's no doctor visit. There's no fucking waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships directly to your door. It only takes a few minutes to fill out a form online. So easy. You can take it on a full or an empty stomach.
You and your partner are going to love this. Your dick's hard. You're fucking. They're getting fucked. It's just feeling out the blood flowing through your cock. Just fucking opening them up. It's going to be great.
Here's a great deal for you guys. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first order free when you use promo code TD. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BLUEchew.com. Promo code TD. But I mean, I think you're going to see the Democrats take the House. I mean, if they flip the Senate, it's big.
Oh, that's huge.
Huge.
The common wisdom is that, they take about 30 seats in the House.
Party
and the
out of
Senate
power.
stays Republican.
Averages about 26 seats.
Yeah.
If they flip
the common wisdom of this one, people who've looked at the races and stuff.
Beto O'Rourke, Ted Cruz. Where is that race?
Yeah, look at that one. That's close from what I hear.
The polls are still open in Texas, right?
I thought it was Florida, Cruz.
No,
you're right. No,
Texas.
That's Rubio I'm thinking of.
And Texas is not turning blue because the Republican governors had 20 points. People just hate Ted Cruz. Everybody hates Ted Cruz.
When did
But
Texas
he's a good debater, Ted Cruz. He's a very good debater. I think Texas
post Nixon, the Southern strategy.
I don't know. Was Texas blue for anybody? Kennedy? LBJ, Kennedy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole Southern strategy, a lot of it was Texas. The whole thing that Nixon did with getting the Southerners to vote Republican.
Yeah, I mean,
because traditionally,
and the Bush family, I think, solidified
Texas a slave state, or not really? It wasn't around at that time, right?
I don't think it was a huge one. It wasn't one of the ones that I heard about in terms of I don't think it was. I don't
think it was even a state at that point.
I don't know. I think it was incorporated late.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it is now a slave state. They have really made up for it,
Speaking of, Amazon is bringing the warehouse to Long Island City. You read about that?
No. What's going to happen?
They're going to 50,000 jobs. I think it's corporate jobs. I don't even think it's like where.
Wait, what do people think it's going to be? 50,000 what kind of jobs? It's going to be suits.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of suits.
Yeah,
it's a lot of suits. I mean,
they have machines doing that, folks.
No, yeah.
nobody's standing on an assembly line. Am I wrong there?
I would love to work it. Wouldn't it be great just to fucking
No, but
go
I mean,
in?
Amazon's that's not their profit margins. Don't suggest that they have huge factories of people.
No, I think the facts prove that they have robots doing everything.
Right.
Didn't they have like a guy on like a fucking like in that thing from Alien?
Yeah,
running a
they have
fucking
they have like transformer people walking around these big warehouses. People like in a machine.
They have like a connection to it. Like they're eating like pudding out of like a tube.
Yeah, this is Amazon. This is next level shit.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think? There's some shoe cobblers are gonna come back.
Can you imagine how crazy it was when you could just go into work at some like factory, like just put rivets into a fucking car all day, and then you could have a house?
Yeah,
I mean, you could raise a family on that.
Now you could do a million things and not have a house. You could be highly skilled.
I'm the head of marketing for Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
I live in a 1-bedroom.
You can't make any money. You know, must be nice. That was when I had a tour bus. This is how dumb the Irish are, and I've said that before, and I'll never. They're tragic people. They're great. They're great raconteurs. They're great art. They write. They're great writers. They're funny. But they're like, listen, they're not good with money. They're very bad with money. And this is how bad they are. I was on my tour bus, and I was given this tour, which, by the way, tickets are available right now. A few tickets last minute became. So if you're listening live, Wednesday and Thursday, Ray will be there.
I'll be there.
Tickets are on this. Tickets are what?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow and Thursday.
Okay.
Tickets are on. A few tickets are left, so if you want them, you could grab them. But I was on my tour bus, and the Irish family's there, and I go, you see these kids, a bunch of young kids in suits. I'm like, these guys are making like $300,000 a year. And they look at me, they're like, but you have the sun. Because I was on a double-decker bus, and I was outside. They're like, but you have the sun. And I'm like, well, this is
these
why.
people worked in a moss, like a mine, like a coal mine.
There's no coal mines in Ireland. They worked in a field shearing a sheep or something.
Oh.
But
so why are they so happy about the sun?
They're just idiots. They just want it because you get bombed and you're in the sun. It's fun.
That's the worst thing to me, is being drunk in the sun.
Oh, they love it. They love it. Ireland loves it. Being drunk in the sun and the rain and the snow.
I get nauseous.
at
I
night.
start sweating. I end up I get dehydrated.
Well, you had that thing at work where you passed out and started vomiting.
I did. I mixed canned wine by mistake. I took a beer. Problem is, like, I've been up for a while. I was working
Can
late.
we get a canned wine sponsor? You know, Robbie Bernstein's trying to get us somebody from Greyhound because I do all this bus stuff. Can we get somebody? I'm dead serious. Ray drinks a lot of canned wine. Can we get a canned wine?
I drank one
Write
canned
that down,
wine.
Bobby.
I vomited.
So what, Ray? Fucking, you'll drink it if we get a sponsor.
I was drinking beers. Someone giving me pot.
Tell the story.
I
This
don't-
is a
Well, I
great.
stayed-
It's a quick story.
I
but
stayed overnight at work. It's
a great commercial.
No one asked me to, but I wanted to, do a good job, and I fucking pulled an all-nighter.
I'm sure people wanted you to leave.
Yeah, but the cleaning people kind of gave me dirty looks, but whatever.
You're making a you walk around like a snail. There's just slime, a trail of slime. Have to keep working.
Well, anyway, so the next day they threw a party, a barbecue, and like a summer barbecue for everyone at work after on the patio and everything. And so like, yeah, come up here, eat some sausage. And I'm like, all right. So I came up and I had beers. I'm having fun. I'm dancing, mixing with people. I go outside for a minute, smoke a
Nobody
cigarette.
wanted this. He's like, I'm having fun. I'm dancing. You're just grabbing tits in the middle of the dance floor. They're like, this is the last event we're gonna have.
I grab a can of what I think is beer. It turns out to be wine. I still drink it because I'm already kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And I go out with my friend. He's like, "Oh, you want some weed?" I don't usually smoke weed. I took a small hit, but the smoke came out dark. Well, you know what I mean? Like, you know what it is?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
So what was it?
It was weed, but I'm just saying I didn't control the hit, and so I smoked too much of it. In the hit.
Okay.
And within 2 minutes, I'm passed out on the street in front of my office, vomiting on myself. Not like just like pouring vomit out of myself, but enough. And my boss's friend, who just happens to live across the street, snapped a picture of me, and they showed me later.
What was the picture? What did it say?
It was just me, vomiting on myself.
Oh, there was just a photo?
Yeah, photo of me.
You should have that as your Facebook profile picture.
I should get it from him, yeah.
50% of people between the ages of 18 and 40 have deleted the Facebook app off their phone in the last year. That's another reason why shit's dying. Like,
how many people?
I think it's 50%. They did a poll, but you know
Wow.
how these polls go. It's like 3,500 people they poll.
Yeah.
But of those people, 50% of them between the age of 18 and 40, like, we're out. Or
I haven't
maybe
used-
18 and 24, or whatever it was.
I haven't used it in months,
They're
really.
like, the app is done. People are taking the app off their phone. They're like, fuck this.
Yeah. I'm
A lot
sick
of
it.
Facebook is boomers now. Just
Do you use it
crazy
much?
boomers. Not really.
Yeah.
Just crazy boomers. Like my aunt's on there.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
It's boomers. What's your aunt's game on Facebook? The one that likes me, right?
No, my other aunt, Kathleen.
Oh, okay.
The one who likes you doesn't even know. My Kathleen aunt is on there. We all block Kathleen, so I don't know what she's doing now. But
Is she political on
she's out of her
Facebook?
mind.
Yeah.
She's just sharing, Fox and Friends, garbage. Support the truth. Like, there's shit that doesn't even make sense. Like,
Do you realize what the troops are doing?
Yeah.
Do you realize the fucking? I mean, what would you?
By the way, there's a bunch of comics that went to perform for the troops. Does this make me a horrible person? I gotta be, and this is good. The thing about podcasting is you say things you can't really take them back.
Sure.
But I'm gonna say it. I've never, we've been excited by the idea of flying 18 hours to Jordan, to perform for the troops. Now, I'm not saying the troops are bad people, but I just never excited me. Everyone's like, it's so. All these comics are like, it's so emotional. Performing for the troops.
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you.
I love Ray's face.
Let me explain something to you.
It's so emotional.
Let me explain something to you. Let's look at World War II. Now, you could argue about, did we engineer it? All right, but the reality is for most people, the average person, their perception of it, the fucking crowds are trying to kill us, or the Japs are trying to kill, and they went over there. Most of them went over there for the right reason. They wanted to serve their country. They wanted to protect their home. They were fine people. All right, look at F9/11. Yeah, a lot of people joining up. It was misguided, but kind of similar idea. I kind of understand it. There was a wave of patriotism. Now let's look at 07, 05 to 07. Who's going up? True believers? I mean, people who
these are people that want to join the military.
Sure. No, I'm saying it's now 28. Who's going now? What kind of man or woman is making that choice now? What do you?
It's the same people when they did a poll on CNN. They're like, "Is Trump's immigration policy too tough, not tough enough, or just about right?" 16% said not tough enough. And Saint Germain had a good point. He's like, those are people who just want genocide.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not tough enough, you just want genocide.
Right.
But the idea of it being like, it's emotional. Performing for the troops in Iraq, I can feel because I'm doing the right thing. I'm such a good person. I'm performing for the troops.
I mean this sincerely.
Here we go.
If they were told to, they would put a bullet in your head without hesitation. And that's just a fact.
It's so emotional to perform for the troops there. They're out here in this desert killing whatever we tell them to kill all day, and they so tired. And
there was a famous study, I'm sure it's been repeated a lot.
We're going to get in trouble for this. Keep going.
Who gives a shit? What are you going to take from me? What do I have to take? After World War II, I believe it was.
Yeah.
There was a study where they realized that in combat, only 25% of troops actually fired their weapon just at the enemy at all. Even with any kind of with any kind of intent of anything. And of that, a small fraction was actually able to shoot at someone who wasn't shooting them.
I just performed at Guantanamo Bay for the troops. It was so emotional. I met Lindy England, and the troops is so emotional. It's so good. I was just at Abu Ghraib, and I did such a fun set. They loved my frozen yogurt bit at Abu Ghraib. I got up and I said, "Where's the yogurt? I'm so fat." You come on, yogurt, and they loved it.
Because the reality is that most people really aren't that bad.
Right.
And it's really hard to shoot someone who's not trying to kill you. Even if they are trying to kill you. But most people have a hard time killing someone in cold blood.
Right.
So
even if it's an Afghan warlord who's done nothing to you, and yes, they're marrying a 15-year-old, but what do you give a shit?
That's not why we're there.
That's not why we're there.
Now, here's the thing. They fixed that. After that study, they use B.F. Skinner psychology shit, and they pop-up target. I mean, it sounds silly, but these pop-up targets that you shoot as soon as it pops up, that's the kind of conditioning they did. And so by the time the Gulf 4 came around, the first one, it was up to 95%. So these are people who will shoot at anything that moves, is my point.
Yeah.
Are you a hero? No, typically no. I mean, you might be doing the right thing.
You could be.
You're
You could do something heroic. God bless you.
Some of them. It's great. The whole concept of being a hero. But I mean, look, is it
I
hard?
want to perform for Blackwater, or what do they call it? XI.
XE. I think it went Blackboard, didn't they?
I want to perform for Mercenaries.
Right.
I want to upload a photo of me on Instagram going, I performed today for private defense contract. It was so emotional performing for private defense contractors.
Look, here's the thing.
Thank you, Eric Prince.
People have a bad idea about mercenaries, but you put all this time in learning these skills of butchering, killing, blowing up children.
What are you supposed to do? Work at Baskin Robbins?
That state senator's getting his fucking new Lexus. Why shouldn't you have a taste of the good life?
Right. And just because you came on board, we got Tim Dillon from Netflix. He's going, who? Shut up. We got...
The thing about Blue Apron is...
Here's the thing. You know the Mercenaries, they get the big acts. They got Gabriel. They got Kevin Hart coming in. You know the U.S. military, it's like, everybody give it up for Robin Shaw. And I like Robin.
No, she's great.
It's whatever, but you know what I mean. It's like this. It's me. You don't want me either. It's like, the Mercenaries get the best entertainment.
My left hand smells like ham.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now, here to perform for the Navy SEALs, give it up for Ray Compton.
Oh, hello. I'll give it up for yourselves. You got Bin Laden back there?
Listen to me, everybody.
Bobby, where are we with Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz? I'll Google it too.
Ted Cruz is winning 51% over 44%.
Yeah, that's probably what it'll end up.
51-44 or what's
something like that. It's probably a 4 to 6 point spread.
Yeah, sure.
That's probably what I bet you that doesn't change. I bet you that doesn't change that much.
A lot of times they don't change that much. Yeah,
I bet you that won't change that much.
It's the weird thing that no one wants to talk about is like when you look at
there was a big race that everybody's watching as a big indicator in Kentucky. What is the Kentucky race? There was a House race or maybe a Senate race or a House race in Kentucky because Trump has won there by large margins, but they said a Democrat might come in and win it. And if it did, this lady, something, I forget her name, and if the Democrat wins it, then they said this is a good battleground in terms of if the Democrats can make some serious gains in red states.
Imagine being that good at bullshit that you got that job where you guys saying that. I mean, look, there might be some truth to it. There's always some truth to everything, but like, look, this is a good indicator. Like, these people pass this shit on as if they have not. Fuck you. Like, none of these people who are giving the advice now
have a clue.
We're calling you. They were all calling it for Hillary 2 years ago.
They're all saying it was going to be a landslide. Bobby, you have something? You look like you have something, Bobby.
So here it says there's 3 spots in the Kentucky House. 2 of them went to Republicans. One is James Comer.
Yeah.
And the other is Brett Guthrie.
And who's the other race? The other one is the 3 people in it. The Democrat is John York. No, who's the woman Democrat? The female Democrat who was running in Kentucky. What was her name?
I don't think we're good at creating
a Republican female Democrat. Sorry, a Republican running. Her
Maybe
name
it's
is
a Senate
Vicky
race.
Gleason.
Let me say, I don't think we're good at painting a great picture of the landscape of a political race. Well, in the Kentucky 3rd, there's a guy who's running against a nun, but there's also a race in Alaska.
Folks, you got to look at Canton, Ohio, because the school board there could flip any minute.
Were you thinking of Amy McGrath?
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. How's she doing?
She's in the lead with 54% right now.
She's going to win probably. Okay, well.
Here's what Trump wins or loses most likely. Look, with him, who knows if he fucks a kid in the Oval Office or whatever. But I mean, he wins.
It was a beautiful kid. They wanted it. They loved it.
He wins or loses based on the fucking economy. And, things are on a ledge right now, in my opinion. I'm sure the stock guys out there are fucking, TD Waterhouse.
They say everything's fine.
It's fine. It's a correction, you fat fuck. Shut your mouth, you pig. But they might be right. They might be right.
Let me ask you a question. If they flip the Senate, which won't happen, then it's impeachment time.
Yeah. Look.
And then if they impeach him, you're going to see a real Elohim city.
Well, here's the thing. They don't need the Senate to impeach him, right? They need them to convict him, right? Like, the House can impeach him?
I don't know.
I think the House can impeach him.
Yeah, but they need the Senate because it won't gain traction without the Senate.
Yeah. Would they do it even if they know they wouldn't get him out? Just
I don't
to,
know.
like,
It really depends on what Mueller has, which might be nothing.
What the fuck happened to Mueller? I forgot
He
about
doesn't
that.
have it. Did you see that Jacob Wool thing, that Trump troll?
No,
You didn't see that whole thing? They set up this woman that they was gonna accuse Mueller of sexual assault, and these two goons, Jacob Wool, who's a 19-year-old Twitter troll, and get that up, get Jacob Wool up, Bobby. And Jacob Wool's just a 19-year-old Twitter troll who just trolls for Trump. Him and his father are goons.
like he's paid to, or just
Yeah. Him and his father are goons. And he teamed up with this other lawyer. I forget the lawyer's name, but the lawyer's the guy who was like, I've got a witness in the Seth Rich shooting. And then at a press conference, that person never showed up. So they said, we're going to unveil a Mueller accuser. That person never showed up. And so their whole now the FBI is investigating this whole thing because it's fake. This guy, Jacob Wool, has a firm called Surefire Intelligence, which is fake. Right. All of the people, the principals of the company, he used photos of like Christoph Waltz, Bar Raffaelli, Israeli supermodel. It was a clearly fake thing.
So he leaked a fake story about Mueller getting brought down by sexual harassment claims?
Yeah, he's like, he goes, hey, basically, but basically, now people, there's a thing, it's like, did they pay? Did they offer to pay for the fucking story? It's basically... This is basically what it is. You had...
I'm still confused, honestly.
Okay, so here's the deal. Breaking out of America's motley cast of far-right political celebrities, 20-year-old Jacob Wool stepped into the spotlight last week. He was apparently involved in a scheme to discredit special counsel Robert Mueller with fake sexual harassment accusations. Okay? Last week, 2 women reported that a person claiming to represent a company called Surefire Intelligence contacted them and offered them money to profess false allegations of misconduct against Mueller. Both women notified the special counsel's office, which then alerted the FBI. Earlier that day, Wool tweeted that a major, damaging, and very credible story with Mueller was about to break. Wool denied that he was involved with Surefire Intelligence, and then you go to the company website, his picture is the CEO.
Here's the problem. This is why it's so frustrating to care about the CIA and what they do, and because it's just like you never find out, and it's always just an unanswerable thing. But it's just it's just another, or not the CIA per se, but it's just the Democrats, I think there's a term for this, intelligence, where you basically
block and bridge.
Yeah, where you pretend that someone's doing something.
I think it's just a goon. I think Jacob Wool's a goon, and they're just being goons.
What's he standing to gain? Like, what is he standing to gain from
He
this?
trended worldwide on Twitter.
So
he's got all these new followers. Yeah, I mean, listen, man.
You think the point was to be outed?
I think the point was to just be a fucking troll. This is the thing now. People don't realize the old way of thinking is over. Like, who stands to gain? It's like your name in print. No matter how disgraced you are, people will follow you.
But his name wasn't supposed to be in print in theory.
Maybe not. But when you act this way, it's going to get in print eventually.
Sure.
And no matter how disgraced you are to most people, there's still going to be a core group of psychopaths that find whatever you do. There's people online tweeting at him like, you're a patriot, you're great. They don't care. We're long past truth.
Most people just feel lonely that they're not famous.
I think most people look at what's going on. They look at somebody like Donald Trump and they say, here's a guy literally running the world kind of by not giving a fuck.
Right.
By building, he was memed into existence, and the alt-right will tell you that.
Some would say he's dismantling a republic, but sure.
Sure. I didn't say he wasn't.
No.
And I think people look at that, and I think kids like Jacob Wool look at that, and he's a disgraced hedge fund manager. He's been barred from the financial industry at 19. Barred from the financial industry at 19. So now it's like, well, now you got to do something to make money. What are you going to do?
How is this making money?
He probably has, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure he has some type of service where people pay him money for his content, whether it's a Patreon.
Jenna Marbles, I was reading an article about Jenna Marbles, who's barely making decent money, and she's got 3 million viewers. What's Jacob Wool getting? What is all this?
I don't know, but he's got this fake intelligence firm, and he's probably duping people. There's probably idiots using him. I'm telling you.
Are they just doing credit card scams?
No, you don't have to now. People will give you their money. He's probably got a roster of conservative psychopaths donating. They're probably PayPaling him now, going, Jacob, keep fighting, because now that
so he establishes bona fides now
as just a fucking Trump troll.
Yeah,
he's a big troll. Jacob's going after the mainstream media. Like he'll tweet something. He'll be like, if the media was tweeting positive things about me, that would be worrisome. And you got 5,000 likes and retweets, 5,000 retweets. Those people are going to give him money because they think he's like in the war on their side.
Let me ask
this
you.
is how dumb these people are.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Has he done New Faces?
No, he's not done New Faces.
Right.
But this is the deal now. I'm a big fan of hucksters and grifters, and so many of these people are invading the political sphere.
It seems
that's
like,
where it is now. That's where it is.
I guess there's probably always the case that it was never that. Like there was I mean, not sexiness, but there was some kind of whimsical, kind of romantic, like in a sense to like old grifters and shit. Because they used to have to fucking learn their tricks and these scams and like go to a bowling alley.
Now it's gone mainstream. It's gone live. Yeah. Everybody, the idea of being a character now, it's being also kind of a cartoon is the move.
Some of it's just about like debasing yourself and like
that's what most of it is about. But here's the thing: you can't really debase yourself in a society that doesn't have any standards, values.
Sure.
There is no debasing yourself.
Do you think Clinton was a big part? I mean, when you look back, it was a lot of steps in the road, but I feel like the whole idea when, at least maybe because I was a kid, but when Clinton, basically you could tell, like, we all know you did it, and, and like, but him just never admitting it, never conceding.
I think it was
that was a moment.
It was a successsion of things. We knew the WMDs were fake.
Right.
We knew the Catholic Church was lying.
Yeah.
We knew when torture came out, there was more to it. We knew all of these things. And everything.
What's the other thing? The outrage. Like, people, when the NSA, back in 2005, when it came out, they were bugging people. And I get that once you have the proof, you got them red-handed. But, like, I remember being just kind of like, why are you asking me out? We've known they were doing this for 20 years, tapping people. And, like, there's a weird, like, kind of head in the sand, willful head in the sand until we have to acknowledge something.
Well, a lot of this is more like, some of it is like a moral panic now because people are like, oh my God, me not caring has led us here.
Right.
My indifference has gotten us the world where Trump is the president.
But
I've never agreed with, I don't agree with that. I think I think Trump became, Trump is very much the monster that comes at the end of the horror movie. But in order for that to happen, there's been a horror movie.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
No, but like, look, there is a certain truth to whether you're Republican or Democrat. It's our tendency to. I think it might be built into democracies or whatever to not look at the worst things or the most pressing issues.
Yeah.
I mean, people in a lot of the country, and I've talked in the past about how a lot of it's just people who had it good and now they don't, and they're whining. But there is a lot of economic despair and confusion.
Right.
That's the thing. People are not, look, a lot of people out there aren't, the economy is one of the things that people know the least about.
Yeah.
Like, very few people who aren't, like, either like, highly educated or economists, like, even have a passing understanding of how it really works. And so they don't understand.
There are people that make millions of dollars who don't know how it works.
It helps you. Really, no.
I mean, but... I think
so it's confusion and there's frustration
and anger and rage.
But I mean, look, if that was the case, if there was this realization, I said, what are we gonna do about Social Security or the national debt or any like these things that like no one's dealing with and we just don't even talk about anymore, which are the liabilities that outstanding. Like Social Security and Medicare and all that shit, it's gonna be like $60 trillion by the time we're all like. It's there's nothing that can be done about it. We're gonna have to start a war with China and just wipe out the dollar and start over.
Yeah, I mean, is that true? You don't think there's really nothing we can do?
I don't know. What are we gonna start like taxing everyone 75%?
What about green energy? Go a huge green boom.
How's it gonna pay off what we already spent?
I'll make a little dent.
Are we gonna sell it to the rest of the world?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know how
I'm a big fan of the boom bust cycle. I mean, not a fan of it, but like I believe that we could have another boom. Maybe green energy is the next boom. Saving the planet, get on board.
Yeah, but like we don't. I mean, there's some paying
it's
off.
Just it's gonna explode no matter what. Is what you're saying.
Here's the thing.
Once the dollar is not the reserve currency, it's over.
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 Unless we still have the army. We still have the biggest military the world's ever known.
That's all we have. And you made a great point. You said countries like at our kind of late stage of empire have never really had this kind of
power. No one has.
Military power, the disparity of it. Yeah.
Rome is the closest thing probably of that, like, relative to everyone else power. And even then, you still had to march.
Are we at war with China within 20 years?
Here's the thing. Who runs the world? That's the problem.
Right.
So the people, if it's really what we kind of like joke about and suspect kind of that it is these kind of transnational people who like don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe just America goes away.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. Is it important to them that America...
I don't know if America's going to go away. I think...
Well, we become like... Here's the problem. We become like Britain, but we're like... Britain's a small country.
They don't give a fuck. You know, the elites in that country don't care.
Right. But Britain's a small country. They can kind of sustain based on their level of... I mean, I'm not... Again, if you're a real economist, you can call in, tell me if I'm wrong here. But I suspect that their trade levels and whatever... They don't have the same like scope and the diversity of size and locations. I mean, so many American cities. I gotta suspect will go the way of Detroit. Like
they're gonna go.
How are we gonna sustain all these different?
Chris Hedges calls them sacrifice zones. We're trying to get him on. Trying to get the great Chris Hedges on. The outlook is bleak.
Right.
The outlook is bleak. I travel a lot. I go, you know, and it's bleak. It's not good.
Right.
You go into these towns. It's all fast food. These towns are mining towns. They were, you know, factory towns, whatever they are. They're fucking shot. The opioid crisis. Everybody's bombed. It's the service industry. That's kind of all that's left. You're cutting hair. You're serving taquitos at Applebee's. You're fucking working a fucking lumber yard. You're fucking, you know, working in a mechanic. You're trying to get by, you know.
And Jordan Peterson's out there going like, look, and he's a smart guy. He has some, but he's like, people need meaning and deeper meaning.
He's out of
they
his
need
mind.
a job. They need something to do.
He started losing me as of late with some of the things he's been saying.
They need deep resonant themes in their life.
You know what people really need is they need to go slay the dragon and bring the gold back to the village. Hey, Jordan. No, I think, dude, part of that guy's thing is like you've just, you know, he's become radicalized.
Right.
It's so tempting to become just the other side of.
I watched a more recent. I think it was GQ.
Yeah.
And like he's just like he's still kind of restrained. Like he never yells at people, but he's just so combative now and so dismissive. Ugh, I've done this for 2 years now. The people just keep spilling my words.
You know what I found is that people need. You know, it's a redemption allegory, is what it is. And you know, it's like, buddy, it's Flint drinking piss-colored water. It's It's like. It really is just, can we stop with the mythological garbage?
He's an objectively very intelligent guy.
Sure.
Very articulate, very good at making a point. And it really is a testament to how, I don't know how far we've fallen. I don't know if it was ever that much better, but how bad it is that, like, people look at this guy and go, oh, this guy's got, like, he's just an intelligent, like, we should all be kind of like this.
He's just a professor. Yeah. He's just a guy that you would be like, that was a good class.
Yeah. We should all be able to rationally make points to each other. This is not like this should not be an indicator of some guru. What do you think
a Chris Hedges, Jordan Peterson conversation would be like?
They disagree. That's the only part. If they disagree,
of course they do.
Hedges,
Peterson's pro-corporate, pro-capitalism, all that shit. Hedges is so the other way.
Here's the thing.
Hedges like, we're living in a system of inverted totalitarianism where, I mean, Hedges and I would love to see that conversation.
It would be two things would happen.
Yeah.
One, and not in a bad way, but it would become a kind of a jerk-off session where they both kind of respect each other and they're making good points.
I don't see that, but go on.
I don't think they'd be combative. I think it'd be, when you like two guys like that, it's not going to be.
It won't be combative, it's not going to be combative. I just wonder what it would be, because you'd have one guy talking about, because Hedges is like, they're all wrong. When Peterson's like, people are getting less poor, you know, all of this, you know, globalization is eliminating poverty at a pace no one could ever imagine. And violence has dropped. Hedges is like, you're wrong on that. And Hedges has got his own fucking.
So he has. So what? But is Hedges?
Hedges thinks Steven Pinker's wrong when Steven Pinker's like, violence is dropping, and Hedges says no, it's not. I want to have Hedges on.
No, I would love to have Hedges on. Here's the thing, and here's what's frustrating.
Yeah,
is that if they did disagree and they were going after each other, there'd be not. It would not like an argument has never solved anything.
Right.
The best you can hope for in an argument, in my opinion, here's what you can do.
Yeah.
You do one of two things. You can push someone. Like, let's just say we had Richard Spencer on. All you could really do was get him to a point where he either has to like reject what he said or admit he's a racist.
Right.
There's no logical way to go.
Yeah.
You can do that maybe.
It'd be great if they brought Chris Hedges out to perform for the troops.
Yeah. Or you can fucking just get someone into a meltdown.
Right.
But really, there's no winning a debate anymore.
He did Chris Hedges, one of his famous things, he did a commencement speech at a college and just got booed considerably. He just did, it was in the height of the Iraq War, like 2003 maybe, and he went out at Rockford College in Illinois or something, and he was just like, we are tasting, and he goes, the violence is glory, and they were booing him.
Who was he at that point that he was doing commencement speech?
He was a New York Times guy. He's been a war reporter for 20 years.
Really? Oh, I forgot about that.
Foreign, he's dark.
Okay, yeah.
I wrote the chapter on gambling from the Trump Hotel. There were heroin addicts in the bathroom, prostitutes, rats running around. Like,
I went to the Taj once.
He goes, I wrote my extremist chapter. He goes, standing with the White Knights and the Proud Boys in upstate New York around a bonfire.
Really?
And he's like, that's what I like about him. He goes to these.
I went to the Taj once and played poker with some old Chinese women, and I was propositioned like 3 or 4 times by hookers. It was,
and then it closed.
Yeah.
I went to the Taj once.
Then it closed. Bobby, we're about to get out of here. Any final...
what's going on in the 7th District of Mississippi?
What's going on, Bobby? Is Travis Irvine, comedian and libertarian candidate, is he in the lead for governor?
I can look that up for you, but 26 seats have been decided.
In which?
House or Senate?
The House.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the House. 16 have gone to the Republican Party, and 10 have gone to the Democratic Party. So far.
Statistically irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's not really. It's not working. TimDillonComedy.com. There's some tickets for the bus tours, folks. Get right there. I have the link in my Instagram story. Do it. If you don't do it, don't tell me that you wanted to do it.
Right.
Just there's a few seats left. 6 seats on Wednesday. I think we had a lot of comps that we're gonna give to people.
This is a life-changing event. I've been on these things many times.
My
from the
publicist
beginning.
is like, all the press, they respond. She goes, none of them have to respond. They all responded. They were very interested in it.
Is the Blaze coming?
How many of them are coming? She goes, none of them are coming.
What about the
They all responded.
Blaze.com? Are they coming? Are they gonna...
The Blaze. I'm here for the Blaze.com. At Ray Kump on Twitter, right?
Yeah, got a bunch of things in the works. Can't talk about them right now. Money on the line. But look, if you're a fan of Ray Kump, things are coming.
Big money on the line.
Next week, we're going to announce the winner of the... It ended a while ago, but we're going to announce the winner of the painting contest. And then we're going to...
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's going to be
about that.
unveiling of sorts. So, if you don't lose hope yet, if you haven't heard anything, it's...
I gotta go to this ballroom in Brooklyn. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck this thing is.
Was it a bank again?
The Murr Ballroom. Let's see where this is.
Murr Ballroom.
Murmur Ballroom. Let's see where this is. The Murmur Ballroom is a concert hall in Brooklyn, 17 Eastern Parkway. How fucking far away is this? So goddamn annoying. 17 Eastern Parkway.
It's probably in fucking like Bed-Stuy.
Let's see.
Stuyvesant. Where's this?
Oh, it's $22. That's not the worst Uber.
Where's it going to?
Eastern Parkway. It's in it's by Grand Army Plaza. Is that by you at all?
I'm not sure.
It's closer than
Is it in the Brooklyn Navy Yard?
It's closer than here, right?
Yeah.
It's by the Botanical Gardens. It's not by you at all.
That's like Park Slope, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that by you?
I don't think so.
Are you closer to where you are from here or from there?
Here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Where do you live?
I live look, if you go over the Williamsburg Bridge, that's Broadway. I live off Broadway. I mean, it's a few miles down, but
We're going over this takes me over the
Brooklyn. I mean, look, you could be going to Sheep's Head Bay and be asking me, well, where do you live? I mean, look, yeah, Brooklyn's a big fucking borough, and everyone who moves to Brooklyn pretty much lives in like the 5% closer to Manhattan, and the rest of it's just like ethnic cuisine, which is phenomenal, and seafood places. And
yeah, we're Nazareth Clam Bar.
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna go back there.
Love some of that spicy calamari sauce.
Here's my prediction, folks. My prediction is that your lives will all be horrible.
But maybe you'll meet someone.
Maybe. Goodbye. Hey guys, if you're listening to this show, one thing's certain. You love fat fucks. Slovenly fat fucks. Well, may we present a third. You know Zach Amico.
Great guy. He's fucking a legend at roasting.
Yes.
He's fucking very sharp, very quick.
What's he doing now?
He has a new podcast on this not fucking network, our network.
Yeah, what is he?
It's he's like watching horror movies with guys, comics.
Oh,
and they're fucking.
That sounds great.
They're fucking watching them. They're having this high fiving.
All right,
having a great time. Zach Amigo's Midnight Spook Show. I mean, and they don't mean spook in the way where like it's a racist thing. It's just
but it does. He does say the N-word 18 times an episode, but
yeah, but like, but if you're a Proud Boy, you don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, he's not in. Listen to his show, folks. Leave me alone.
Nuance.
Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show.
Guys, when's the last time you think you watched Halloween?
I think it was at a sleepover in like 6th grade, and I
did some gay shit.
Yeah. They was with all the guys on the baseball team, and they made me get around and go around naked and put my dick in this kid's ear.
I really hope that's true.
Yeah, it is.
You watched Halloween and did some gay shit.
Yeah. It was a very. I think it was sort of molested. Did I get molested when I watched Halloween? I don't know.
And we'll have when the music starts. If you get hard, you were molested.
Well, I told my mom. I told my mom, and she didn't get mad at them. She got mad at me for being so weak to allow myself to do that. I was like, this is gonna play out real well in a couple of years.
My boys are top. Shit, man. Let's watch Halloween.
Let's do it.
I'm getting hard.
All right, you were molested.
Up. He's going to be in the car. No, he's going to be back in the house. I was right. He's going to be in the car.
This show should literally just be Ian reacts to the decisions white women make in movies.
Why is he waiting outside? Why is he not waiting inside the house? Ah, there he is. Oh, Jason. Yo, Mikey Myers got joked. My man did his homework.
I love watching this movie with fucking Yamanika Fidance over here.
No, bitch.
That's where he lived.
Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show.
Hey, if you like this fucking thing we just did, why don't you do us a favor? Please click like and subscribe to us.
He's out on parole.